Here are 10 mistakes I made when filming online courses and what I would do differently now. Hey guys, I'm Kate Silver and I'm an online course creator. I've created over 16 courses in graphic design, video editing, in Canva, in podcasting using Riverside FM, and more topics. And along the way, I've been doing this for 4 years. I've learned so many tips and tricks, and I made quite a few mistakes in the beginning. There's so much more than just 10, but I'll start with 10 in this video. And hopefully it could help you to perhaps create your online courses or learn a thing or two for your YouTube channel, or just if you're teaching in general. So let's dive into it. Number 1 is not enough talking heads. So what is a talking head? This right now, me talking to you in the camera, is known as a talking head. And in the beginning, I was terrified. I didn't actually want to show my face. I wanted to create faceless online courses, faceless channels. And eventually I took the plunge and just added my picture in as a thumbnail. And later I squeezed in the intro video, which is obligatory, hard word to pronounce. And so I just did that. Now in hindsight, I realized that talking head videos are really valuable for my students because they connect with me more as a human. And especially on Skillshare, where I'm a top teacher and it's really community-based, it's quite nice to be a human teaching another human as opposed to a faceless robot or AI or whatever. Like, I'm a real human with my teaching style and I'm teaching another real human on Skillshare or Udemy in some cases, graphic design softwares and video. So that was number 1, it's more talking heads. Mistake number 2 is that when I was doing tutorials and screencasting, screen recordings, I moved my cursor quite rapidly all the time. I guess I was nervous and it was new to me. And I realized that rewatching my videos made my head spin and it was quite distracting. And in post-production and editing, I had to slow down and pause my cursor and it took so much time. Now when I record, I make sure to slow things down. And I guess this is also helpful for me in my life to slow things down, something I'm working on that I haven't mastered yet. So it's a good reminder, slow things down. Number 3 mistake I made when first starting course creation is being boring. I was trying to be boring and strict on purpose because I was so scared of being outside the box. I really wanted to deliver the content and the course to students without really adding too much fluff. And I was scared. What if they don't like me? Don't say anything, besides the actual tools. And the more courses I started creating, I started adding more of my personality because, again, I'm a human and I have a personality. And I think students started liking it. So, for instance, one of the words I say, and I say it in my real life as well, as I'm a French-speaking person, I say voilà. And I started implementing that in my videos. And so it's quite good to add your personal personality, which is nice. People connect to that. Mistake number 4 I made when I first started creating courses is recording my classes in a full HD monitor. So a second screen, a monitor, and I recorded in full HD, meaning 1920 times 1080, which is your standard YouTube video. But over the years, 4K has been a big thing and it's much better quality. So I would do that instead. Number 5 is going too niche. I went really niche with certain things, I did a specific tool in Photoshop and I noticed that people were more interested in a broader, so I started doing more broader subjects again and that was good. Number 6 is going too broad. If I'm just doing exactly the same as someone else, then why would someone watch my course as opposed to someone else's? So it's really important to add your personal take on it and your personal experience and making your style, so not going too average and too standard, and really make it your own. Mistake number 7 that I made when I started creating courses is assuming students know stuff. I assume students knew things already. I assume they already knew some Photoshop and some InDesign and some Illustrator, and a lot of the times they don't. And when they do, they're always happy to get a refresher, to get a reminder, to practice their skills. And so assuming students don't know anything is always a good way to go. And that's what I do. Sometimes I do get complaints that my classes are too beginner, but I'd rather please the person who's really anxious and really afraid of learning something. And when they do my classes, they feel smarter and they feel like they can achieve creations with softwares. And I'd rather be like a big stepping stone in that person's journey than someone who's already a bit confident. And I don't mind if they're a bit bored and they can just skip a few sections. Although I also find those students important to me, of course. But that's why I created more intermediate and advanced courses as well. Mistake number 8 I made is I was scared when students were asking questions. I was like, oh no, I don't know that answer. And that is when I was also teaching in real life. I got so scared of students judging me if I didn't know every single thing in the world. And I realized that it is totally okay to say, I don't know. Or it's totally okay to do some research and then I know. And that just from students' questions, that helped me learn a whole plethora, what a beautiful word, plethora of tools and skills just because those questions have made me research stuff. And then I self-taught and then I learned things. And thanks to that, I became a little bit more informed. Mistake number 9 that I made when I first started creating courses and having courses is I got frustrated if a student corrected me. This happens, over a few years and 25,000 students. Sometimes you'll have a student correct you. Well, in my case. And in the beginning, I was a bit frustrated. But then I realized, wow, this is great. The student can become the teacher as well. And I love learning. I think that as long as I keep learning, I'm pretty happy. As long as my brain's getting a little bit bigger and I'm having more information. And I'm a one person. So if there's another person coming to the question and teaching me something, even though it's my student, I think it's super welcomed. And today I'm so happy. And I actually thank students if they correct me, because I feel like it's more like a community. And that's how I know if I'm making mistakes or if I skipped something in a class or I forgot something, I accidentally forgot to load something. Students will tell me. So I love hearing from my students. So if you're one of my students, please comment. Please let me know what your experiences of my classes is on Skillshare or Udemy, because I love hearing from you. And last but not least, mistake number 10 that I made when first starting creating courses is throwing videos that I didn't want in the trash or in the bin instead of repurposing. So when I first created my Adobe InDesign class, I threw so many videos that I didn't want in the bin. Except I kept one video. I didn't use that video, but I thought just in case, I'll keep that video. And that video was an Adobe InDesign tutorial about master pages. And about 1 or 2 years later, I started a YouTube channel for the first time and I tested the waters. And guess which video I posted? Yes, it's the Adobe InDesign master page class. And guess what? I now have, to this day, 62,000 views, which is my highest watched video, which is insane. And it's probably accounting for all my hours watched on my YouTube channel. So I'm so happy that I didn't throw that video in the bin and I kept everything beautifully in an external hard drive, nice and safe. So those are my tips for you if you're starting a course or you're starting a YouTube channel or teaching people in person. So it's always amazing to learn from students. It's always totally fine to not know. We are humans, we don't know everything, and we're always learning and improving. So it's totally okay to not know. Remember to slow things down and take a breath, which I always forget to do. But when I'm teaching, I actually remember a bit better for some reason to take a deep breath. And then be yourself, be authentic, allow your personality to shine through. And if you don't know what it is yet, then do some journaling perhaps and get to know yourself. So yeah, if you're interested in the topics I was talking about, graphic design or video editing or Canva, I have classes about each of these softwares, and in those classes, I teach in a very slow and calm and steady manner, so you shouldn't feel too overwhelmed, I hope. And there's plenty of practice exercises, so I hope you'll enjoy them and become one of my students. So as always, it's been an honor talking to you, and I'm Kate Silver, and voila, see you soon.